Hello, everybody, and welcome to Cats May Wow Designs. Today is going to be the final video of our 1920s Gatsby Party series, talking all about desserts. And so, without further ado, let's get started. So, one of the desserts that I made for the party is some sugar cookies, and I cut them out into some fun shapes. And the recipe that I used is actually from sallysbakingaddiction.com. She has a lot of really great recipes on there and a lot of tips and tricks about how to make this successful, especially if you're planning on cutting them out. And so I'm going to share just briefly as we go through this little tutorial some of the tricks that I learned. One of the things as I've been watching different things on Instagram or even here on YouTube, is not to put your measuring cup in your container of flour or sugar or whatever. So here I am spooning it out. It does make it easier to make sure you don't overfill it, and you can make sure it's more even that way. The recipe that is on the website for this actually makes like a ton of cookies. So just be prepared for several dozen, or maybe I just got a whole bunch because I learned some things. That's all I'm going to say. The cookies turned out yummy, but I definitely learned some things that I'm going to try next time. So hopefully, this video will help to save you a painful experience. The first thing that I would say as a tip for this is to mix all of your dry ingredients in a separate bowl, because if you overmix flour, then it will not rise properly. So that is my first kind of trick to getting successful cookies. When you get to the wet ingredients, such as the butter and the milk and everything, this is what goes into your actual mixer bowl. And I love this stand mixer. It's by Hamilton Beach, and it is a dupe for the KitchenAid mixer, and it works pretty well. And I like that I can just set it at the level and then let it mix as much as it needs to. And for this, it took several minutes in order to get it into the right consistency. And so you just kind of have to be patient with this. So after you get it, when it starts changing texture and it's kind of fluffy, that's when you add your eggs, your vanilla, and the last remaining ingredients in the recipe. Now, after you get that all mixed up, then you need to roll out the dough. So it's recommended that you roll out the dough before you put it in the fridge because it's easier to roll out. Um, and so you need to take and separate it into equal sections or equal amounts, however you want to do it. The recipe suggested doing this on parchment paper, which I thought was a brilliant idea because it made it so much easier to take in and out of the fridge and work with. And of course, you want to make sure that your rolling pin, in addition to the parchment paper work surface, is covered in flour. So that way your cookie dough does not stick anywhere. Because let me tell you, when it starts to stick, it's kind of crazy. Also, huge thing. I apparently did not realize how tall a quarter of an inch is, I think, is what they recommended for how thin to roll out your dough. Do not be like me. For a good portion of them, I actually rolled it out too thin. I only realized what I was doing later on. Um, and I made the cookies thicker. So if you want that super soft, buttery texture, please make sure that you know what the proper measurement looks like when it comes to cookie dough. You will save yourself a whole bunch of sadness and wasted ingredients if you do so. And also, after this step of when you roll out your dough, you're going to let the dough sit in the fridge for, I can't remember, I believe it's like an hour or like between an hour and 2 hours. I think no less than an hour. So I put it on a cookie sheet to make it easier to take in and out. And this step is so important because this is what helps to keep your shapes from growing while they're baking and becoming misshapen. So this is a super, super important step. So while we wait for the cookie dough to cool, here are the cookie cutters that I am using. There's this martini glass. It comes with a stamper and a cookie cutter. And I bought the STL files on Etsy, and my dad was so kind to 3D print these for me. So that is one. The next one is this vintage car. Super cool. I need to practice a little bit more with these because in the end, I wasn't sure how to get them to work, but yeah. So this is the Art Deco one, and then I also have a Flapper Girl one. If you have any tips on how to use these stamps, then please be sure to let me know in the comments because I'm super eager to hear. So this is after the dough is properly cooled, and so I'm just taking my cookie cutter and pressing down and trying to use the stamp, but it wasn't working too well. Some things that I think could have helped was if the dough was actually at the thickness it was supposed to be instead of being way too thin. Something I did notice later was that if you let the dough warm up for about a minute, it does actually press a whole lot easier. So that's just something that I'm going to have to play around a bit with, but just as a fair warning. But either way, these 3D printed cookie cutters worked really well. And I will drop the shop name down in the or down in the description box below because they actually printed really easily and we didn't have to make any modifications, which sometimes even with paid for files, you still kind of have to do that. So here are how some of the more successful cookies went with the stamper. And so again, you just want to make sure that as you're working with it, that it's the correct thickness. It was nice that they fit inside each other. You also don't want to press down too much, especially with this particular one, because it will start to separate where the Art Deco part is, but make sure that you save all of your leftovers because you can re-roll that for more cookies. And now it's time to put these babies in the oven and let them cook for the time that is written in the recipe. So here are my pile of cookies when I was done. Most of them were good. I did have a little reject pile off to the side because they did burn a little bit because again, the thickness was too thin. But the thicker cookies turned out so good and they were so yummy. So there's a couple different ways that you can finish them. You can leave them as is if you use the stamper. You can also cover them in a type of royal icing, or she also has a recipe for a great sugar cookie frosting that you can make to put on them. So, how you finish them is up to you. Let's move on to the cupcakes. So, as you can see here, I made two different types of cupcakes, chocolate and vanilla. I just used box cake mix and followed the instructions on there, and then made a chocolate buttercream and a vanilla buttercream, and added some gold glitter chunks to the top and some gold edible dust. And now I will show you how I made the cupcake toppers.
Hello! So for this part of the video, we are going to make some cupcake toppers. So I have already started. These are what they look like. Super cute. And so the materials you'll need is hot glue, some skewer sticks or toothpicks, whichever you prefer. This garland you can get at Dollar Tree right now for graduations, black and gold. It's perfect. And then whatever you want to be the centerpiece of your design. So let me get this one. So this is, I designed it on my computer and had my Cricut cut it out. And so, yeah. So let me check to make sure my glue is Working good here. Also, something for finger protection. Trust me, I did not yesterday, and I now have a blister on my finger. So, we are starting with one of our toothpicks. You want to take and cut this probably about 2 inches, 1.5 to 2 inches, I would say is a good wrap if you want it to be super fuzzy. And so you're going to just separate it. This has wire in it, so it does offer a lot of good hold. So you start by just applying a little bit of glue. Then you're going to take your whatever kind of stick that you're using for these. And just be careful that you don't hot glue yourself to the project, because let me tell you, it hurts like nobody's business. So then I'm just taking and wrapping it around the stick. Okay. And then press it flat. Now for the last part, we are going to take our hot glue gun, apply some glue there over where the ends. This is going to hold our front embellishment and the ends together. Grab one of your front pieces and squish it on. And this is where it's really nice to have this piece as well, because then for sure if the glue comes out the back side, it will not hurt you. So here we are, one done. So I'm going to do a couple more to give you the general idea in case you need to see it again. So here I have my 2-inch piece. Grab my hot glue gun, apply just a small amount, just enough to actually stick it to your popsicle stick or your skewer or whatever you're using. Put it on, press it. Wrap the end a little bit if you can, and then just wrap it around. If you twist it while you wrap, then you will get more of that firework look. And you can totally buy these online. I was looking at some reviews for because I wanted the black and gold ones. And the reviews for that did not have very good reviews. So I said, you know what? I'll just make these and it'll be fine. So, of course, apply our glue. Take our pretty piece. Glue it on. And I like these specifically because it has stars on them, which really help to elevate the look even further than what we're doing. So, and you of course want to make sure that your stars aren't hot glued down and hidden.
So now it is officially time for you to see the whole party walkthrough. Let's get started. This is the entrance as you walked into the party.
Password?
Doll face. And so after giving the password is when the bookcase wall collapsed and the door was opened.
Come right on in.
Here to the left is where we got the lineup photos. And here are the food tables. Starting on the left, we have the punch fountain. And all the way against the wall is where we had our photo booth. So you can see that with our photography lights. And just to the left of the photography booth is where we have the little props that they could use. These are the ones that I bought off of Temu. And you can see the twirly things and the balloons that I got. So now let's take a look at the tables themselves. Again, I unfortunately forgot to flip the paper doilies back around the correct way, but regardless, it still looked beautiful. This is how the stage looked with the black and gold tinsel and our beautiful dessert table. Thank you so much for watching today, and for more videos such as the June bead box and what it has in store, please be sure to like and subscribe. Bye!